Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Why did it do that? How do you go
I
back
think
to the
'cause
start?
just pick a different track and then cue that, and then just play that next one.
Hang on, this. Oh, this thing's fucked.
I'll include this once again.
All right, ready? Start again.
Yep. Ready, set, go. That's beautiful fading down, Kieran. Welcome to Tom and Laney Show. It says episode 6. Has it been 6 episodes that we've done? Wow, time goes fast, Lane.
Yeah, you could say that. I'm most excited for that spoiler you just said. Kiz doing a bit of a fade. Does that mean Kiz is back?
I'm back, boys.
I forgot that you know everyone's watching on YouTube, but yes, Kieran is in the house today because he's been a bit absent lately. Last week he reckons he was spewing at both, well, it was coming out at both ends from last week, all reports, and he seems healthy now, so I'm not sure if he was just trying to lie to us.
Fit and ready to go
What
this
actually
week.
happened?
No, I was stuck on the toilet last week. Having a young child who goes to daycare, it's a recipe for disaster.
Well, there you go. Lesson learned. Don't have kids.
We also hear that you went to a wedding the other day. Did
I
you
did.
wear a hat? I didn't see any photos with a hat on.
No hats, no. It was an indoor wedding, so it's a bit rude to wear a hat inside.
Is the she who we can't say her name? Did she
Definitely
advise a
redacted.
hat?
It wasn't on the invitation, so I took it as I could come, let my
Maybe
head
what
breathe.
Bad advice from the partner, then I guess.
Maybe what she should have done is, if she wanted to manifest Kieran wearing a hat, she could have tapped her head a few times, and maybe the hat would have appeared naturally. What do you think, Kieran?
No, I'm talking about the partner can't be named. Apparently, that's off. Kieran's partner's off limits at the moment.
Oh, my
Oh,
partner.
sorry.
Yeah, I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about...
No,
Yeah,
I thought
okay.
she was going to say you can't leave the house without something on top.
No, she likes my bald head. That's why she picked me,
Ah, like grease it up style. I
Yeah.
like it. Maybe-
Interesting.
Maybe the wedding that you went to, Kieran, the girl that was married, maybe she could have told your partner, redacted, how to manifest things through tapping, and that way both that person would be satisfied as Felicity's nudging me and tapping on me.
Yeah, okay, that sounds
Getting
like
that
that's
could
too much.
Yeah, I think...
That's
Felicity,
a
stop
live
tapping me.
protection.
Felicity's trying to manifest something to me.
I think there's a reason Tom
yeah.
didn't get the call up for this wedding. Or the
Well, it's
last
funny you say that, Karen, because that's right. Didn't get invited to the first one, and didn't get invited to this one. I'm probably not
one. You
as
didn't get
surprised
invited
about.
to the first one. You were getting invited to the second
No,
one. So.
no, I wasn't as surprised as for the second one. First one. Yes, Felicity.
I was a
Felicity
little
wants to
bit
go to the show.
surprised for the first one. I think Felicity is
Felicity's-
saying that she's surprised she wasn't invited to the first one or second
all
one.
that out.
Live
Felicity,
redaction.
get off my back. Yeah, there you go. So that's the sort of pressure that we're getting here on the Tom and Laney Show. There's just all these people want to be a part of it, and all these people think they control what we can say. But you know what? We're sticking it to the man here. You can't redact us. Ow! Felicity, stop it.
Well, speaking of not getting invited to weddings, I know you were desperate for attention this weekend. Did anyone actually hang out with you?
Well, last night, Laney, I was actually doing our monthly marketing reports for the marketing agency I work for. So I was getting that done, and then I did some other ad hoc tasks. So that was my Saturday night. So if anyone wants to spend a fun Saturday night, just become an office worker, and you can get your secondary tasks done while your friends refuse to engage you. That's how. What I would
So was
recommend.
that your plan for the night? Because I seem to remember there being a few messages going out there trying to ask or plead or beg for. a bit
Well,
of
I'm not
attention.
begging. This is what I want you to do. Like, you don't have to hang out with me. Just tell me what you're doing. Just say, "Hey, Tom, I'm doing this." I'm looking at you. Like Kieran had an excuse. He was out like the night before, had a big wedding. David, I'll give an excuse. He's got 2 kids. He's losing his hair. His bung eyes coming back the other way. Like, I get it. But some of the other boys, like Blake messaged me today saying he was playing fucking Fire Emblem. Like, pull your head out your ass. Like, just message me saying, "Tom, I'm playing Fire Emblem tonight." That's all I want. That's all I want to hear. And then I'll stop begging. But there's an old saying, beggars can't be choosers, and I'm begging crap friends. So I've got what I deserve, I suppose.
Yeah, that is sad. That's very upsetting.
Because
What were you
even
doing
you,
last
Lane,
night, Lane?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. Laney messaged me about 6 o'clock, saying I'm hanging out with my sweet pea tonight. Well, Lane, it would have been nice.
Oh
It
god.
would have been nice if you
We've
had
lost
nice
him.
internet, I guess. That's how angry he's getting. We can't even hear him anymore.
He's
I,
pulled the
I
mic out of
actually
the
had,
computer.
I had a busy week though. I had a busy work week, so I haven't had time for any time with my soulmate of the show. So I was spending
We're
time
getting
with
old,
her.
We've got families. The last thing we want to do on a Saturday is hang out with Tom, go down to the pub or
Well,
something.
that's my future now. Is that I've decided that there will be no more pub visits, and instead I'm just going to wallow by myself. Maybe I'll do what I used to do and just go to the movies by myself and sit there in silence and enjoy a nice movie. Maybe that's my future. Maybe that's what's on the cards for me.
I actually like a movie by myself, but even better, I like a concert by myself. That's top tier, I reckon. A nice concert, just enjoy yourself. No one else will annoy you.
I'm not
No,
sure
that's
I've ever
true.
done that.
I've gone to
Nah,
Black Sabbath.
it's
That was great by myself. I went to Ozfest in Japan. That was great by myself. So,
Mm.
yeah, I rate it, Lane. Being a loner, yes,
yeah,
it has
I've done a
it
couple.
has its negatives, but it also has its positives. So, if you're sitting there lonely, don't worry. You still got the Tom and Laney Show to keep you company. And as Pussy's laughing, and there's other things you can do, like watch a movie by yourself. If you're someone like Blake, you have options out there. You don't have to just be alone for the rest of your life.
Well, yeah, I even if you're not alone, I still rate going to a concert by yourself. That's top tier. It's just enjoyable.
Yeah, I know what the people want out there. That there's another item on the run sheet here I can see, but just an update, quick one, just to throw it in there. I haven't talked with Blake. Obviously, I didn't see him in person last night because he was playing Fire Emblem on his 3DS by himself. But unfortunately, for all you Blake lovers out there, there has been an update to the Blake Love Quest, and the update is there is no update, no progress whatsoever. Has yet to have made a match on Tinder, has yet to even communicate with a woman, or a man, for that sake. I mean, I'm really starting to debate whether he is, which way he is inclined. And either way, it's fantastic, but there's just been no progress. So sad news for you, Blake
There has
lovers.
been progress though. He actually did some swiping, and I haven't seen him do swiping in months. So that's a step. First step is saying yes. The second step is for someone else to say yes, and that's
Yeah, but
the
I
hardest part.
in that swiping video he sent, I did see him say no to girls, and to me, Blake's just not in the position to say no, unless he doesn't want to get shadow banned like you got shadow banned, Lane.
Hey, that's a long story for another time, I think.
Okay,
Don't know if it's that long.
yeah, we don't. We have plenty of time.
that's a long and in-depth story, and
Okay.
I think that's going to involve a whole episode to itself. So let's
so
move
we'll
on
save
to
we'll save that one for when we get Miranda on the show. Now, Lane, last week when Kieran wasn't here, we had the Tom and Laney draft, a very successful edition that by no means confused anyone or was poorly produced. I obviously won the 2000s or late 90s 2000s rock by sort of the feedback I received. What feedback did you receive?
I didn't receive any feedback. I ended up just having a look at the comment that you received, arguing
Yes.
with that comment, and getting told go f myself. So, yeah, it wasn't great for me. It was pretty sad one on that one. So hopefully we bring this segment back, and there
Yep.
can be a bit more feedback.
There is. We need some filler. We need some filler content, so we're going to chuck it in. Kieran, what did you think? Who won? Who won the draft?
I think Tom did it easy for me. I'm not a huge fan of that genre, so a lot.
No,
That's
you're not.
it.
Laney went a bit
No,
deep. He's obviously a
that's it.
fan of the genre and picked bands that were not as mainstream. But for me,
Yeah, you try to be too cool.
I only know the mainstream picks. So
Yeah, Tom just picked the
Yeah.
Pretender bands, and that's what the Pretenders
That's what the
like,
people
so-
want. That's what the people want. And we're going to
give the people what
yeah,
they
and
want.
we're going to get. And we've got into another category this week, and I think Kieran's definitely across it. Laney's across it. I think probably Laney's. We'll see how Laney keeps up this week. I think he'll
I'm
be
a little bit
behind the eight ball.
less. Yeah, a little bit less across
But-
this one. So
But I
it's gonna
think
be
I
hard.
think I think we'll come up with some good names and get some good debate there. Kicking, but I understand, Laney. It's been a big week in the news, and you've got some news to share with us. So let's get into it. I thought we had a little voiceover there.
Yeah, I was waiting for something to happen, but nothing happened at all.
I swear we did something.
Yeah, different one, I guess.
Ladies news.
Yeah, time.
Oh, that was
time
it.
To redo that one.
Yeah, I swear we had a little voice.
It takes a while to come in.
Well, shit production. It is what it is. You know, we're not the producers, Lane. We just rock up. You know, it's Kieran's job. So
I've been
know,
busy.
And I've been keep hearing about these graphics that Kieran's going to create, but you know, to me, it looks like the same shit that we've always had. So you know, it's time to lift your game.
And
kids.
also, wasn't that actually your specialty in uni, Kiz?
Yeah, exactly.
No, well, 3D animation, but you know, that's
That's
a lot of.
That's what you.
That
That's
is
what
a
you
lot of work.
promised. That's what you promised. You said a 3D animation of Laney and myself talking on the radio.
One
that
day.
was gonna be like,
One day.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I feel like that could actually be
Once we hit
benefit to the show.
monetization.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So
getting
when
into Kizzy's uni stuff, I want to talk about the budget this week. Budget, it's a big topic. It affects us all. I'm very excited about it. And
You're excited about it.
I was excited to see it. Sitting on the couch, refreshing the updates, and yeah, it was pretty boring. So I picked out three of my top three things for the budget. The first one was going to be the student debts. They're just going to get rid of 20% of your student.
Fuck yeah, stick cunt.
So
About bloody time. Is it
Definitely.
I
retroactive?
know that.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's anyone who's had a debt. So, Kiz, I know you had a hex debt. What do you got left on yours?
It's not much now. Maybe like $5,000 or something left.
So
Paying
I
it off
wonder
very
if
slowly.
it's going to be 20%.
Oh, they
of that
take it off the
$5,000 or your
20%, not the
total.
5. Yeah, well, that's. I'm getting ripped off if that's. The
Oh
case.
no, you're
I
not
should have
getting.
done this 10 years ago.
You're not getting your money back.
Retroactively.
That would be
like
sweet.
20%
That'd
off
be
my
nice.
extra. Yeah.
I think I've got 15 grand or something left now. So yeah, what's that? 10, 15, 30, 3 grand off. That's not too bad. I'll take it. So Albanese, that's a tick for you. And I've saw in the polls lately for all you political heads out there that. Albo's come back in a big way. Dutton's sort of struggling along at the moment. Sort of had a good start when Trumpy was, doing his thing, but the Trump's he's put up a bit of a stink recently with him and Elon Musk, and that's rough. I think that's rubbed off on the bald man. So I'm not sure, Kieran, your bald brother, he's in a bit of a tough spot at the moment.
So maybe you will get that 20%. That'd be nice.
Maybe what Dutton could do as a strategy. This is probably something if you want to pay me a consulting fee, Liberal Party, I'm happy to take it on board. But perhaps what's missing from Dutton's campaign is wearing a hat. A hat could be the key to success.
That could be the key, but unfortunately, you just said consulting. That's actually on the budget. They're cutting their consulting.
Oh, damn it.
And the hat budget is.
Yeah, that wasn't actually part of the budget, so I don't think there's going to be any hats unless they're paper hats. I know they still have paper, so they could do one of those fun boat hats. I like those.
Sure.
The other big one in the budget, I think, I'd be very excited. The government's talking about buying Rex Airlines. Has anyone actually been on Rex Airlines before?
I have not been on Rex.
Not on Rex, no.
Because they were only regional, and then they started doing actual proper flights to like Melbourne to Sydney, Gold Coast, all those kind of flights. I'd be excited about a government one. Imagine if we got cheap government flights.
I don't really see it. Yeah, I think it's going to be the same old shit. The problem with that airline was that, like, who the fuck's flying it? Like, it's just not. They just can't run regular flights enough to generate revenue, and like running an airline's expensive it is. So yeah, it's just not something in Australia that's any good. What they need, the problem in Australia is that every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants to live in the major capital city, and there's not enough people living in small cities like Mildura and Albury, Wodonga and Newcastle and stuff. Like, until that happens in 50 years, then it's just never going to be cheap enough to fly because there's just not enough demand for it.
There's plenty of demand. There's people that are flying into Sydney every day. The problem
No, but the other flights though, not those flights.
Oh, well, those are the flights that I want cheap. At the moment, there's a duopoly with Virgin and Qantas. So we get the government coming in. Imagine a Mikey fare. Imagine $8 or whatever to go to Sydney. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, well, once again, like in Europe when we were over there, like you could get on Ryanair or whatever, and you can fly across from Northern Ireland to France or to England for like £30, But that's because there's so much demand for it. There's just not enough demand for it. So
What do you mean? You're crazy. There is
no,
demand
not
for it.
between, yeah, but that's because they run like 48 routes. In Australia, out of Melbourne from each capital city, they only probably run like 5 routes regularly. There's not enough volume of flights. Yes, there's demand but like, look, and Virgin collapsed. You say duopoly, Virgin's already shut the bed once, so it's just Qantas, and Qantas is basically the state-owned flight provider anyway. That just happens to be private, but for the more or less, it is the national brand. So
Yeah, but that's only the biggest reason is it actually is a duopoly, and one of the big debacles that was coming out was Qantas were booking spots at airports and not using it, and then just paying the fee of not using it.
Yeah,
So
but the
no one
government,
else could actually get a flight there.
Sneaky.
but the government want that though, because they want to prop up Qantas as much as they had. And it's always this game of like, oh, let's make it competitively priced, but they still want Qantas to be really successful. So I just don't think it's. Unfortunately, Lane, you're going to be driving Adelaide, so that's going to be how you're going to
disagree.
save
I
money.
think
To be honest, I don't think flights they're not that expensive, are they? Flying to Sydney,
Nah.
what, a couple of $100
Flying
bucks.
City's like
not that
probably
big a deal.
$100 return. Yeah, exactly.
How often are you
some
going
of
to
us
Sydney?
some of us got mouths to feed. I don't know about you, Richies over here. Jesus.
You want your own mouth? Or
All right,
Miranda?
Mister. All right, Mister 180K over there.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
I got two pets to feed as well. The cat food's not cheap.
Well,
the dog
stay
food's
home
not
then.
cheap.
Well, there's possums out in the backyard, Lane, so get shooting.
Well, my third top one, I guess, is not going to affect you. They're talking about freezing the tax on tap beer.
Oh, good. Well, I have to worry about that because I can't go to the pub with friends, so that's fine. I'll just drink bottles at home. That's easy done. I already do that now, so that's fine.
What is it? What's the latest for a beer on tap? I can't even remember.
When we
it
went to
right now?
that golf Morak driving range, they had the sort of beer service that I think it
They
was
were 16,
maybe.
weren't they?
I think it was. I got schooners, and I think they were 11.30, 11.50. Yeah, and I think a pint was like $15. So yeah,
That's
I don't know.
ridiculous. At what point do you stop? If it ever gets to $20, there's no way someone's paying that.
I'll guarantee you they will, because I went to Dublin.
They said
and
about cigarettes.
in Dublin, if for a pint of Guinness, it's 11 euro, which is $20 easily, and that's just the standard price. And there's places where it's more expensive than that. So if it's there,
Who the
it's
hell's
there.
paying that? Did you pay that?
Yeah, because if you want a fucking beer, you don't have
What
a
do you
choice.
want,
What are
mate?
you gonna get?
You're in
You
Dublin.
can't you can't get a pot. You can't get a schooner because they don't really do that. You can get a half pint if you want to look like a loser. But yeah, full pints.
But you're
that's just what it is.
only going to get one pint though. You're not going to be drinking all night at the pub. That's the thing, surely.
No, and I mean, there's places where you can get cheap drinks. And it's the same here as well. If you go to some pubs, it's cheaper, and if you go to a bougie one, then you're gonna get stung. So I don't know. Yeah, just pubs just keep running up costs, and that's why people don't go to pubs anymore. But there's some good pubs out there. Bronia Hotel, that's a great one.
Lovely pub. Cheap pot.
Yeah,
Cheap
you can
mama.
go.
Don't
sit
know
in the
if I
sport-
agree with that one.
Oh, you obviously have you been there when we went to the smokers area and you watched the footy from the smokers area? That's pretty sweet.
No, I didn't actually go out there, so
Ah,
I don't
I
know.
see.
But it seems
Missing
pretty
out.
crap inside, so I don't think I
As-
really was missing much.
There's a playground you can bring your kids to if you want to have a good time as well, Lane.
Okay, might bring the cat and dog. That'd be nice. But yeah, that's my top three for the budget. So budget was quite boring this year. I don't know if you were excited, but yeah, I got
Nah,
let
I'm not.
down.
Who's going to win, Lane? That's the real question. Who's going to win?
I thought it was going to go either way. I think it's now Albanese. I think Dutton's
Oh.
gone.
I think so. I think you're right.
elbow.
Yeah. For all the conspiracy Trump lovers out there, I'm looking at you, Sash. You're going to be disappointed because you're not going to get rid of the status quo. You're going to have to generate some more conspiracies for a little bit longer.
Very targeted. Exactly.
Well, you know
Jeez.
what? Laney tried to argue with Sash about some interesting topics, and unfortunately, when you argue with morons, you get you bring yourself down to that level, Lane, as you quickly found out.
I just get sucked in every time when you hear
You
such
do.
stupid things. You can't just hear such stupid things and claims that are just dead wrong, and just let it go. I just can't let it go. He's just saying.
Sounds like we need to get him off on the show.
Let's get him on.
Very-
Let's get
very-
cancelled.
Yeah.
We'll bring him
Yeah,
on.
pretty good,
We'll
good.
bring on that Blair Cottrell guy from the Australian Nazi Party as well. Let's bring them all on. Let's bring the Nutters on the Tom and Laney Show. It worked for Sam Newman, so it'll work for us.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's all I've got for Laney's news and the budget edition. So let's move on to our next hot topic of the week.
Of the show. It's just not a topic.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA draft, San Antonio Spurs select.
Welcome back. It's not a topic really, Lane, because we would call it probably in radio speak, and you obviously don't remember your sin training. We would call it a segment. We'd call it a radio segment. And last week, Lane, we did the sort of rock band draft that we talked about earlier in the show, which I won. This week we got Kiez in the house, and I know Kiez, it's not probably his field, so it's probably good that he missed that one, but this one is a bit more up your alley, isn't it, Kieran?
It certainly is. I don't want to spoil it, but who's going to say what category we're doing this week?
Yeah, you can spoil it because we're going to literally talk about it right now. So we are going to do a hip hop draft now. So I've basically got a list of 100 different artists, and they're grouped in categories, but we're not going to go by categories. We're just going to alternate. One person picks, and then the next person picks, and then the next person picks, and we pick our 5 artists that we think would be the best lineup, maybe at a big gig or a big festival or something like that, and we say these are the artists that we think are our favorites, and then we compare the pair. Comment?
Where's this list?
I'm excited.
It's in the show notes, Kieran. If you just scroll your mouse down to the bottom you'll see the
It's
list
written.
there.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, so it's all there for you. I suppose the first point of call is to determine who goes first. So I'm gonna think of a number from 1 to. I'll pick a number from 1 to 3. If you get the number, you go first. If you don't get it, you go last, and I'll just go in the middle. So, Kieran, what number am I thinking of? 1 to 3.
Number 3.
Kieran's going to go first. Lane's going to go last, and I'm going to go second. That's quite easy.
I actually was thinking number 3. So can we do a do-over? No, let's do a do-over, but me and Kieran get to pick the number.
Okay. So I guess.
So who gets to? You have a number in your head, and me and Kieran both pick the number.
God, this is the same as last week.
Number.
Let's just
No.
fucking go.
Let's make it as confusing as possible.
No,
Okay.
we're gonna do this. It's between 1 and 2.
Okay.
And
Between
Kieran and
one,
I have to.
okay, between 1 and 2. All right, so I got a number in my head, 1.68.
Okay,
Kieran, you go.
it's either 1 or 2. Kieran, you pick a number, and that gets to choose who picks the 1 in 3 pick.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I'm going to go
Okay,
with 1.
Kieran,
1.
I'm gonna pick 2 for this one.
Okay.
Well,
And now what's happening?
Oh, sorry, I got you. Okay, I'll say it was 1.
Okay, so now
Okay.
Kieran, you get to pick. We
I'm
have
going to go
1
with
and
3.
3.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 3.
Yeah. Okay, Kieran won again.
Okay, brilliant.
That was worth it. Yeah, good job.
I don't know
okay,
about this.
cool.
This is no good. Do we
No,
do a do-over?
But no, what we will do, Lane, is we'll make it a bit more fair. So we'll do what's called a snake draft. So basically, Kieran will get to go first, but I'll go second. When you get to your pick, Lane, you'll go third, but then you'll also go again. So you get 2 picks in a row. So it sort of evens it out a bit. So yes, you get picked. You get the last pick, but you also get back-to-back picks, so you can sort of shape your list a bit easier.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, okay. So, Kieran, let's start it off, Kiz. And you've got a big list there, and basically it's grouped into eras. So, from 2015 to 2024, 2005 to 2014. There's a big range of hip-hop artists there, both rappers and bands and stuff as well. Who's going to be your number 1 choice, Kieran, to lead off Kiz's hip-hop show?
Number 1 pick, I'm going to take K-Dot, Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, okay.
Big fan, big year. Coming off the back of the Super Bowl.
Massive
Well,
year.
I think on this one's a bit of a concontroversial one because he's only got 1 decent album and he's got a lot of filler. So
That's right.
That's
Now, Laney, you're a
hard.
notorious hater of Kendrick Lamar. This is probably isn't a pick that would really resonate with you, is it?
He's got a 10 out of 10 album. Good Kid, Mad City, 10 out of 10, no doubt. That would put him up there as one of the top 10, and the rest is just
what about
filler.
damn the Pulitzer Prize winning album probably of the year of most publications. You do not rate that.
No, that's an overrated. Going back to our old segment, it's overrated. He killed it with the first. Well, I think it was his second album, and then the rest of them just crap.
All right, well, that's gonna get some people pissed off, but I like the pick. Probably not. It wouldn't be number one for me, but it's Kieran's list, so Kieran's choice. It's fine. I'm gonna go second. My pick, I'm gonna go with. It's hard, I'm a bit torn here. I would like to go Kanye West, but he's probably, it's a bit controversial at the moment. I think for myself, number one artist that I'm probably regularly playing this guy. I haven't played a lot of him lately, I would say, but I'm gonna go with Tupac Shakur. He's going to be my number one lead off hitter. He's going to get if he's my sort of top headliner, he's going to get the crowd going. Yes, maybe he doesn't have the greatest albums ever, but he's got a ton of banger songs. So he's going to be my superstar, my headliner.
Yeah,
Any controversial opinions on him, Laney?
No, I think we can all agree on that one. There's no doubt, is there?
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you.
It's not really a controversial pick. It's just like a solid pick.
Yeah. Well, probably
too obvious. You think?
Yeah, too obvious.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's probably the point of of contention is, do you pick Tupac or do you pick Biggie? And personally, I do like Biggie, but Biggie is probably more like that Kendrick Lamar thing, like you said, a bit more of a one album wonder. Second album, not really that great.
Well, moving on, I'm going to go for your first controversial pick. I'm going to go Kanye. There's just no doubt.
Wow.
Okay.
He is the best. He's only...
Well, I know someone out there loves that pick. He loves it.
I would cut him off, though, at My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's his last.
No, keep
Anything
going.
before
keep
that,
going.
he's got about
Life
5
of Pablo
albums
is a
before.
classic.
Yeah, no,
That
actually, Donda
that was
was
still a gamble.
I didn't really love Donda. I did like it, but I didn't love it. I liked the album before that, the religious one. I think that was cool. That was like the 808s and Heartbreak stuff, where it was like, wow, this is really crazy and out of the box. But he has some really good songs there. To me, yeah, he's a bit of a nutter, but there's no one out there that is actually an artist like Kanye. He's probably the best artist, maybe not the best person, as Felicity said, or the best, the best rapper overall. No, but he's definitely the best musical artist, I think, on the list.
I think there's just no doubt. And like you said, 808s and Heartbreaks, that's one of the top albums there is. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, that's one of the top. He's got the College Dropout. These are non-stop banger albums. The ones after that, I feel like they're just a bit of playing around. I don't know about those ones. So
I would say a lot of half-ass shit from Kanye in the past 10 years. I'd say a lot of half-ass shit, but that's all right.
Yeah, 100%. That's especially because his comparisons were so good. Yeah. So he's no doubt he's top. Second,
okay. You're gonna go back-to-back pick here for Lane.
I'm going back to back, and it's another controversial one. This is a one album wonder. This one, I'm going Biggie. I've got to go Biggie.
Okay.
First album, 10 out of 10. Second album, just rubbish. Just absolute rubbish.
Wow. Rubbish may be a strong word, but
That's a strong word.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you.
I'm just putting it out there. There's just
I don't think it's that bad.
There's probably 4 or 5 songs I do like, and there's a lot of filler on there. And you know what I hate? And I know this will irk Blake out there. I hate skits and stuff, man. Like just an instant skip. If I was Spotify, I know you're listening at the Spotify because you love the Tom and Laney Show and want to start advertising on it. I just get rid of skits from all filler, like all albums. Just move them on. All trash.
There needs
Put
to
them
be
in
a
the
feature
archives.
where you could listen to it once, and once you've listened to it the first time, it should be an instant skip or a feature to pick to listen to the skits.
Because imagine if you're listening at Spotify DJ and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to queue up, the Biggie skit on, the second album." Like, what the fuck are you doing, DJ?
To be fair to Spotify, I don't think that really happens that much. Well, not for me.
No, I'm saying it doesn't
Unless I'm
happen.
listening to the album. Yeah.
But imagine if it did happen.
Built into it.
Yeah,
It doesn't happen, but yeah, listening to like College Dropout, that's a sweet album. But yeah, you get to the skits and it's I don't want to listen to this anymore.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, I like it. I like this. It's a good pick. I think for my next one, I'm probably going to go with my favorite hip hop band of all time. I'm going to go Outkast. For me, the first album I ever bought was Speaker Box and the Love Below in 2003, I think it was 2004. First album I bought. The first single I ever bought was Get Rich, or I know it was In the Club by 50 Cent, and they had Wankster as the second track.
Wankster.
Yep, had Wankster on there. So that was my first single, but my first album I ever bought was that. And for me, got every album they've got is great. They're both great artists. I don't think you can really fault that. They've got some probably good option because they're not just straight rapping. Some singing there from Andre 3000. So I think that's a good balanced act for me.
I feel like I've always missed out on Outkast. I've just never really given them a chance. I do like the songs I do like, and I have heard, but I just never really have put effort in. I think I should have.
The thing about you is you're not down with the culture like me. I think out of the three of us, I'm the blackest. So, well, no, sorry, Kieran's the blackest from the waist down, but I'm the blackest in terms of like down with the culture. So, yeah, I think that's probably where you're falling behind, Lane. But that's all right. You're the white boy.
With that one.
Yeah, you're the white boy. Anyway, Kieran, what's your next pick?
Speaking of white boys, I'm going to put the first one on these lists. Can't go past Mac Miller.
Oh,
is my pick number 2.
I reckon I could go past Mac Miller.
No way. I couldn't name you one Mac Miller song, and I would never. If he came up on my list, it's a fucking instant skip. There's no chance he's on my list, Kieran.
I had very similar opinions of him, but then after he passed away, I listened to his album Swimming. And
Pretend.
it became instantly one of my favorite albums of all time. And then went back to the archives and ended up loving most of what he did. So, Mac Miller, pick number 2.
I haven't seen a bad pick like that since Jamara Hugelhagen, Kieran. That is terrible.
Plus, at a concert, if they could revive Mac Miller, I think it'd be a good draw. Good draw.
Well, that's true, but you got to remember, I've also picked Tupac, but that comes with Tupac's hologram as well. So I'm actually ahead of you in that respect.
Double act.
So, yeah, exactly.
A duo.
I can bring back Tupac from the dead. Unfortunately, I haven't done a Biggie hologram yet because I haven't found a hologram big enough for him. So, yeah, my next pick. That's a tough one. There's a lot of great bands and artists on there. I've got some good stuff, but I think I'm gonna have to pick someone. I'm gonna have to pick someone a little bit more hardcore. I've got sort of some good pop songs there, but I'm gonna have to pick. I'm gonna pick my man. No, my artist, the NWA. I'm gonna pick the NWA. I think that's I need some old school sort of hip hop on there. There's a lot of new artists on this list, especially when we get to 2015 onwards that I haven't really listened to. So I'm probably a bit behind in the new artists, but yeah, I'm gonna pick NWA to sort of shore up a bit of old school stuff and get the crowd going with some anti-authoritarian hits. I think that's how I'll bring.
So
the crowd
when
into
did
it.
you? I would like to know when you started getting into NWA. Were you a little boy listening to NWA, vibing out, or
Well, I believe I was.
Were you getting in?
I believe I was 0 in 1991, and their biggest album was 1988. So it's a bit.
Oh, okay.
Listening
Well,
to-
we lost him.
Internet's cutting out again, but
Hello. Is my microphone on? Can you hear me now?
You're back.
yeah,
Okay.
you're back.
Yeah,
but what
think-
age? No, what age did you start listening to NWA?
Oh, I reckon maybe year 7 or year 8 from memory.
Oh,
we lost him
internet
again.
Really?
Little known
Yeah,
fact
someone's
about Tom's mum, Jules, is she absolutely loved NWA. So I think it would have got plenty of playtime while Tom was in the womb.
That
Yeah, that's
would
right.
not be a surprise. I could picture Jules vibing out to a bit of F the Police.
Sorry, Lane,
Fuck the police.
to answer your question, Lane, GDO San Andreas came out in about 2003 or 2004, I think. So that's probably when I started listening to it because that's when we got big into that style of music. So that's probably my jumping point for that hardcore sort of gangster hip hop, if you will.
Yeah, I could really picture you really fitting into that hardcore black culture themes. Really,
Hey man, I've been
just associating with it.
me and Kieran have been to LA, man. I mean, Felicity drove through Inglewood just a couple of years ago, didn't we?
The other
Sweet
day,
Pete?
you
So-
reckon?
Yeah, on accident, and Felicity demanded that I lock all the doors because she got shit scared. And I don't blame her because personally, I don't want to be part of No Jack Move.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. Whose pick is it? That's Lane's pick.
Hang on, how did we get back to me again? I thought
No,
I'm
no,
very
no, 'cause-
confused at this order.
Should I have done a double?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Kieran, you should have done double.
All right. Well, for my third pick, I'm going to go with Tyler, the Creator.
Oh, Kieran, just
Having
I'm
a
not
big
sure
moment.
about this list.
You guys don't
Not
like
sure
him
about
either.
this list. I don't mind.
Well, it's
him,
very telling because you are very much a pre-2000s hip-hop lover, whereas I tend to like the hip-hop that came out when I was in high school. And
Yeah,
Laney
listen,
is
if
probably a bit
you
more
picked-
over the place.
If you pick Tyler as your second pick, I probably wouldn't mind it. But to me, like, Mac Miller is he's just not on the list. I don't even know, is he on this list? If he is on the list, he shouldn't be. He's not there for me. And then Tyler, like, I don't mind him, but he's not one of my favorites. But if you picked him,
Because you only like hip-hop, pre-2000.
yourself, is there anyone I'm missing?
Yeah, I feel like that's a cutoff for Tom's music. It's pre 2000. Well,
No, his internet
Tom's
sucks.
cutoff is his internet as well. So
He's really not happy with my picks.
yeah,
He's left.
I'm back.
unfortunately. Well, this is this is a decent session with Tom today, but let's move on. I think I was next on the pick anyway, so I'm gonna go with a pretty standard pick of ASAP Rocky. I love ASAP Rocky.
Oof,
I think
that was my next pick.
solid choice. It's a pretty standard, I suppose, popular choice, but you can't go past him.
Nah, he's one of the greats.
Would
Have
you
we lost
listen
Tom
to-
for real? Tom wouldn't listen to
I think
ASAP
it's-
Rocky. It's too
Yeah.
modern for him.
Yeah, I feel like Kiz, you'd be the type that would be getting into the other of the ASAP mob as well, surely.
Yep. ASAP Ferg, big fan.
I remember seeing him on Rage once. Yeah, he seemed like a pretty fun guy.
I
but
think
don't know
Rocky
about
was the
his music.
standout from the ASAP crew, but some good collaboration albums.
I can't really
What'd I
think of
miss?
anyone else.
Laney
I picked
picked A$AP Rocky.
Oh, that's
Any thoughts on that one, Tom, or just no thoughts, no comments? I think he's silenced himself. Maybe we're gonna have to move
Tom's
on.
had
Maybe maybe you're gonna have to go for your next pick, Kiz. Maybe it's just gonna be us two for the rest of the.
All
rest
right,
of
you
the
stole my
segment.
next pick. Let me have a look. I'm gonna have to go J. Cole.
That's
Again,
pretty solid.
J. Cole.
Right in my wheel. Fuck Tom hates my taste in hip hop. You didn't have anything
What'd I
to say
miss?
about ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on
No,
J. Cole?
you're right.
Tom?
You're right, Kieran. I
But
didn't have anything to say.
Tom
about
just
A$AP.
hates any hip hop that got produced after the 2000s. Tom just thinks
Nah,
is irrelevant.
yeah, 2000, about 2010 probably cut off. ASAP Rocky, yeah, I don't mind him, not too bad. J. Cole, I never got into J. Cole. He's a bit too corny for me. I don't. Yeah, he's too in the rapper, like the sort of like Eminem style of like telling about your life style rapper. It's just not really for me.
Yeah, okay.
You just want to hear about the black struggles.
Yeah,
That's
what you
right.
hear.
The culture.
It's just I like a bit more style, and he's a bit too like it's too dry for me. So it's when Eminem
I
starts
like the
rapping about his
production.
family and all that.
Yeah, production's the big thing for me, and I think his albums are very good musically.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have enough hit songs where I can like jump in, and then that's probably the thing for me.
No, it's got some big
Yeah, I
hits.
think he
It's
does.
got some real big hits.
Not with me.
I
Just
think
looking
he's
at
got some
2014
pretty
Forest Hill
solid-
Drives, no role models, 2.6 billion plays. I think it's.
No,
I
it's
think
got some
No
hits.
Role Models
That's
is
fair.
a pretty decent hit.
I think.
so.
Yeah, I think he's pretty popular.
Sorry, guys,
Okay.
not going
All right.
over with me. Whose turn is it?
I think you
We
can
skipped
go for
you. We're
one now.
going back to you. Yeah, pick 4 for you.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, let's have a look. Some good big artists on there still. I'm gonna go. What have I got so far? Tupac, Outkast, NWA. I've got some big artists there. I probably need someone a little bit more niche. So I'm gonna go with. Let's try and go someone newer. I can see MF Doom on there, but he's not really a new artist. I'm gonna go. Oh, I would have picked Kendrick. No. I think I'll go with my man. No, my girl. I'm going to go with Ice Spice. I'm going to go with Ice Spice on my list, Why not? You guys are a bit sexist. You're not like
Okay.
me. You're not progressive.
I'm No,
I'm
I'm
gonna go
taking
Ice
points
Spice.
off her. I definitely take points off her for that. Stop playing with me, Randy, or whatever, whatever she says in every Riley or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Every
I gotta tell
single
Felicity
Got Randy
I
on
just,
the mind.
I just gotta
Got
tell
Randy on the
Felicity
mind.
because I gotta get what Felicity said. Lane just said, Ice Spice says, "Stop playing with them, Randy." What does Ice Spice in fact say, Felicity? Stop playing with
Riley.
them.
I know
Stop,
it's Riley.
stop playing with them, Riley. You fuckwit.
But I'm just saying, it's because I hate it so much. It drains my life. Every single song has to start with that.
Ice Spice, if you're out there, stop playing with them, Randy.
Stop playing with me, Randy.
That's funny. All right.
I
Yeah,
think
cool.
she needs to get over herself there.
Anyway, I think that's just a sting she uses to shout out a producer, sort of like a mustard, if you will, Lane. So I'm not going to take points off it. I like Ice
I'm sick
Spice.
of it.
I think she's got some good songs. Probably needs to get some bigger albums. I know she's released albums, but yeah, maybe a little bit more advanced in her artistry. But I think she's got style, and that's where I'm gonna put her in there for style because I think she's pretty cool at the moment.
I think I like that. There was one song, I think it was her first big sort of breakout radio song, and it sounded like it was like a Scooby Doo song. There was lots of like fun sound effects in that one, so that's probably my favorite. I just don't know what it was called. It was a bit of fun. Bit of fun.
Fortunately, we won't be going to you for any specific hip hop masterclass, but yeah, no, okay. So that's me done. So then who's next? I guess it's Laney, is it?
I'm next again. I'm gonna go for a bit of a fun one here. A bit of a different one. I'm gonna go for 2 Chainz. You just can't go
2
past
Chainz.
2 Chainz.
Yes, you could go right past two Chainz.
You could.
I think
He's got
everyone
some good
can
features, but
That's
have you
what I
heard
was
his
just-
albums?
I was just about to say that he's got some great features and some good singles,
Yeah.
but I've never listened to
Flow Rider.
what'd you say?
I said Flow Rider.
Flow Rider. Felicity's going to Flow Rider. Unfortunately,
Is
she's
that your
going
going
to
completely different.
that
Yeah,
your
I'm
pick
glad
up?
she's not getting any picks. I'm glad, but the reason I go 2 Chainz is because he's fun. You just know if you're going to hear him featured on a song, you know it's
Yeah,
going to
but
be a fun song.
you know what 2 Chainz is? 2 Chainz is fucking Snoop Dogg Timu. Like he's just a feature artist. He's crap at it. He does a poor emulation of what Snoop Dogg does.
he doesn't do. But he doesn't do crap. If you know 2 Chainz coming on, you know you're in for a bit of fun. That's the key. Snoop Dogg, I feel like he's 50% fun. You know, sometimes he's going to be good, sometimes he's just going to be shit. 2 Chainz,
so-
it's exciting. You hear him yell 2 Chainz, it's good stuff.
That's straight up trash. Anyway, who's next? I
He
guess
does
it's you,
have a
Kieran.
great song called "It's a Vibe," where he says "It's a Vibe" about 75 times.
Well, I
It's
think
a good
isn't,
song.
isn't Birthday Song his song, or is that
He's a
that's just
feature.
like a
I think
three?
it's Kanye.
That's a
feature,
three-way
yeah.
song. Yeah, well, that's a banger of a song. I'm gonna go my last one because we're still snaking around. My last one,
Okay.
I'm just to settle you guys and make kids happy, I guess. Pretty generic one here. I'm gonna go for Frank Ocean. You can't
Okay.
lose with Frank Ocean.
Well, it's good. It's good to have an artist that's not just a rapper on there, and I think that's a good pick. I think it balances your list out, Lane. You got a good list there. Just quickly recapping Lane's list. It's Kanye. Yep, that's a really strong. Biggie. Yeah, I like it. Like it. A$AP Rocky. Yep, a bit newer. That's good. 2 Chainz. Trash and Frank Ocean to balance it out. I like that list, Lane. I think that's a decent list.
Bit of a mix bag there.
Strong show.
I just would have picked it. 2 Chainz is just trash. Like you could have swapped.
No,
him
that's
out, I
fun.
think.
You know you're gonna get excited as soon as he yells out 2 Chainz. Everyone's in the club excited.
I think you could have picked someone better than that. I would have picked. Let's see. I would have picked.
My other fun
Snoop
one
Dogg
was going
over
to be
him.
Little John. Now, Little John is a good
See,
fun feature as well.
Yeah, but that would have been way better than 2 Chainz. You know.
Yeah, Little
that's
John
that
over
would
2
have made
Chainz.
No, I'm more excited when I hear 2 Chainz.
Well, it's your list. You can have him.
Yeah, I'm picking the list, so get off my
Yeah.
back, please.
All right, Kieran, it's your turn, and I'll go last.
Do you want to wrap it up? Well, he's gone Frank Ocean, so I guess more R&B hip hop artists. I'm going to pick someone who's not on the list either, and go with Anderson .Paak to round out my 5.
That's
And
just-
again, Tom hates
I'm not going-
any music
I'm
I
not-
like.
No, hey, you picked Kendrick. I don't mind Tyler, and I don't mind Anderson .Paak, but I hate that Bruno Mars band he was in.
I
Bruno
don't
Mars-
I hate that album, but everything else around it, I love it. Yeah.
He's got some good songs.
He's a drummer.
I don't hate it, but
It's after my heart.
I'm
I
not
can't
going
think
to
of any
Ken's
good
concert, unfortunately.
songs. Yeah, I can't think of any songs he's in, but I know if I see him featured on a song, I know I usually do like it. So that's my
Just put
the
Malibu
most
on
tick I can give.
again in my top 5 albums.
Okay. I don't even listen. Everyone has their own vibe. That list is very you, Kieran. I will say that it is very Kieran. So I can't deny that. But it's not for me. All right, time to finish this bad boy off. Who should I pick? Well, I've got some big artists on there. I've got a lady artist on there, so I've got some good balance there. I think to finish things off for me, I'm going to go hard. I'm going to go with my man DMX. He's going to be my starter of the concert. He's going to get the crowd fired
He's going
up.
to give it to you.
That's it. X going to give it to you. He's going to party up. He's going to play the Rough Riders anthem. He's going to play all the songs where he just yells at homophobic things for 50% of the song. That's what's going to get my crowd going. I know that's what my crowd wants to hear. They want to hear a bit of gangster life, homophobia, rapping about the life in the streets, how hard it is. That's what I'm about. I've been under the the watch of police before. It's hard out there for us tough criminals, and DMX is going to get my crowd fired up.
Well, for years, I thought X Gonna Give It To You was coming from Exhibit, who I think I would prefer because Exhibit...
You want to change your list?
I might actually put Exhibit instead of Frank Ocean.
Honorary mention.
Pimp, yeah, that's an honorary mention because Pimp My Ride was a solid show. You can't.
If this was a TV host list, Lane, then maybe you would have a valid point. But I think I'll take DMX over
Hip hop
Exhibit.
artist turned TV presenter Exhibit.
Wonder what Exhibit's up to now. I haven't heard much of Exhibit lately, Pimp My Ride, they should bring that show back. I know most of the cars that they actually did end up being absolute trash and had all these problems. They had to take out half the shit because it was never actually going to be functional. But they should bring that show back. That was a fun show.
Agreed. All right, well, yeah.
Maybe we should do our own version. Tom and Laney, Pimp My Ride.
Pimp maybe Blake's Teeter. That could be an option.
Yeah, I'd be down for that one.
So let's just quickly recap here. So mine, Tupac, Outkast, NWA, Ice Spice, DMX. Yep, I like it. Laney, Kanye, Biggie, ASAP, 2 Chainz, Frank Ocean. Okay, not bad. Kendrick for Kieran, Mac Miller, Tyler, The Creator, J. Cole, and Anderson .Paak. I have a listener here that's sitting beside me. Flissy, quickly, who do you think would win on your personal list?
Who's on that again?
Oh, Flissy.
Oh, no, we're not going through it again.
That's not
we're
good
not even
radio.
going through it again. I think Flick's
This
picking
is
my
bad
one.
radio.
And yeah,
Flissy's putting the
I'm giving
glasses
it a
on.
thanks.
Hang on.
Yeah,
She's just
yeah.
quickly looking. I'm just going to press command. There you go. Flissy, you can see.
Oh, I
Flissy's going to go with.
think
Yep, this is really dragging
the
on.
music
I'm
I
glad
would
we.
listen to the most would be Laney's list.
Laney's list. She's
Wow,
gone.
you heard it. Yeah.
Laney's talking the most
That's a
shit.
live
But
win.
Laney's. Yeah, that's a live win for
Felicity
you, Lane, so-
notoriously has terrible taste in music, though. So
That's true.
I'll
Kieran.
take it though. Doesn't matter.
But she is a big Kanye
A win
fan.
to win.
That's right. And yes, Flissy's a big Kanye fan. And she
Massive.
loves his
Mainly
fans.
later.
not so much his
No,
music,
I
more his
don't.
views on
No, I
social.
don't.
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
She doesn't like his views
At all.
and she doesn't. She's telling me very authoritatively. So, Sasha, you know what you've been up to, and you know
You're
what
in
you and
Flick's
Kanye
bad
are like.
books.
Yes, you're on the naughty list. Okay, let's finish this show off and go.
Yeah, let's wind
Let's
up.
do this.
All right, you can't actually get away from this show at the moment, Lane. I see it everywhere. I have a vague idea about what it's actually about. But did you watch Adolescence, Lane?
I did. I loved it. Good show, very good show. But also, it's a one-shot show. Did you know it was a one-shot show?
What do you mean?
Is it the whole show's one shot or each episode?
So each episode is just a one-shot, one
Each
take.
episode's
And
one shot.
Oh.
Okay.
I originally
Okay.
thought it says it.
Very
I think
good
it says
gimmick.
it, or you can sort of see it. And I thought it was a lie at the start. I thought they'd sort of stitched it together. But then I looked at the behind the scenes. It actually is. So they do 10 takes of 1 hour, and then pick the best one. So
For
that
me,
blew my mind.
you know what? For me, not that impressive. There's stage shows that they do 2 hours straight. To me, it's cool, I guess, but a little bit overrated. What was the actual substance of the show like, Lane? That's probably more important.
No, because this is what adds to it. It adds to each episode's in real time. So that's
I'm
the
sure
whole thing.
I get that part of it, but what did you think of the content of the show?
Yeah, so that's part of it though. The content of the show was great. The storyline was great, but
Give
the
us a-
storytelling was great.
What's the show generally about? You don't have to give any spoilers away, but what's the show generally about?
It's about a boy, an adolescent, I guess, who's accused of murder. So,
okay.
It's a bit of a basic theme, but again, with the one take kind of thing, it really pulls you in. You really get the feeling for it. I think it was very interesting. First episode gets right into it. I think you would enjoy it, Tom. Kieran, I don't know what you watched, so maybe you'd enjoy it. I don't know.
Just
Kieran would like
YouTube.
it.
Best of clips.
Best of Tom
It's
and
on the
Laney.
list.
That's what counts.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think it's a Tom and Laney approved show. I think I'd give it a solid 9 for a rating for the show.
I did like that war movie that was all one shot. 1917.
Yeah, 1917.
Yeah,
I thought
that was great. It does add
That
to
was
it.
great.
It's a cool.
But that
I like
one,
it.
that movie
Experience
was
it,
sort
yeah.
of obviously a bit cut up, and there was a bit of time jumps and stuff like that. There's no time jumps in this, which is good. There's also a new one that I'm very excited about, a new war movie that's meant to be real time. So that's coming out next month, I think. Very excited. Anyway, moving
cool,
on,
Lane.
because I'll just keep talking.
He
about
loves
movies
real
the whole
time.
Yeah, no.
I do.
For
I love a
somebody,
one shot.
for someone who really wants to watch maths, you sure are pushing out the show.
Well, I think we've already missed this episode of Maths, so I'm very
Oh,
upset.
bum.
So come on, let's wind this up. There was a new release from Ford saying they're going to bring manual cars back in America. They're saying that last year less than 1% of new vehicles in the US had manual gearboxes. Can you actually drive a manual, either of you?
Nah.
Have you ever driven one?
I have.
No.
I did my full 120 hours in an auto, and then decided I'll get my manual license. Did like 5 lessons, and then tried to pass the manual test and stalled the car like 3 times.
Oh,
So I ended up
no.
just getting my automatic license later that week. But I can
silly
drive
Billy.
one, but I would be absolutely terrible in it.
So
Yeah,
you
I've
wouldn't
never-
ever choose to drive one?
No, because I don't really care for driving all that much. Automatic's fine, you know.
Nah, not for
And
me.
Tom,
but,
what do
you
you
know
think of? You don't think about manuals?
No, I've never have. But everyone when we're in the UK, everyone actually drives manual. So it's very hard to find a auto car. It's much more expensive, and most people, they all learn manual just as a starter. 'Cause I guess they have probably more older cars and stuff, or European cars. So yeah,
It's
no,
just cheap as well, but I like a manual. I love a manual. I've had multiple manual cars. I would have another one if I could, but maybe not driving to work every day. That does get a bit draining, shifting all the time for an hour straight or whatever. So
yeah, it could be. Lane, what about this? There's a story here. Babysitter finds intruder while checking under a bed for a monster in Kansas. A babysitter went to check under a child's bed and found a 27-year-old man. Lane, what have you found under your bed?
What were you doing under that bed, Laney?
Yes, what were you doing? And why are you lying about your age?
Yeah.
wow, hey, no, that's not that far off my age. I'm not that old, so this is a bit of a spooky one. I actually, when I was younger, I had what do they call it? I had like tubs under my bed, so nothing could get under my bed. But I could see this being pretty spooky for some kids who had spare space under their bed. Did either of you have spare space under your bed?
No, I just had a man under my bed.
Yes. I
No
can't
space
really
for
recall.
tubs.
Nah, I can't really recall what was under my bed, Lane, to be honest with you.
I think that could be a
some
bit.
shoes.
That's one of those things that it's understandable. That's why they say there's monsters under your bed, because it could be spooky. So this would have, really made you shit your pants.
What would spook me is if I found Blake under my bed, because that's what I expect Blake does on his days off. That's the kind of
That's
creepy
what I'm
thing I
saying.
think of.
And imagine that. Imagine you think that's going to happen, and then the babysitter comes in, and there actually is a guy under there. That's spooky news.
Luckily, if you did find Blake under your bed, you just know that he's just going to do nothing. He's just going to
He's
lie
not
down
going to
in
make a
there.
move.
No, he's going to sit there. So that's fine. Hey, Lane, go to the next one because it's very exciting.
Okay, I know you love footy. You really
Yes.
love the footy. The footy's back with Essendon and the
Finally.
Bulldogs winning. So, where are we watching the North and Don's grand final?
Well, I'm not sure where we're watching. We might be there on the day because it's very exciting. Essendon, I thought the season was over, but actually the season resumed when Essendon beat Port. One of the worst games of football I ever watched, but we played a great last quarter, so I'm excited about that. And Kiz, you managed to have a really good win.
What a classic. I couldn't watch it at the wedding, so I made sure no one told me the score and then got to watch it the next day on the phone on the way to the zoo. And
you
what a
didn't do
way
any
to watch
sneaky watching it on your phone at the wedding?
No. I'm too good
I'm
for
actually
that.
surprised. I thought you would do that. It's something that our other friend Kyle would have done.
It's a beautiful ceremony to celebrate the love of two of my best friends, you know. I don't need to watch the footy then and there.
Well, all I'll say is Maritza is going to be very disappointed in you, Kieran. The next topic I have here, production on the next installment of the James Bond franchise has begun. Same budget as the last movie, which I would have thought would be a pretty big budget movie. Theo James from Divergent is the top runner, Lane. What are your thoughts?
Well, we talked about this a couple of episodes ago. We're talking about how I said I thought it was going to be shit, but they're talking about now the budget's going to be 122 mil, the same as the last one. That's a pretty decent budget. I thought it was going to be a low budget, pretty crappy one. So that's good that they're putting the cash in. And Theo James, he's not bad. I like the Divergent series. I only got 2 movies in, but I've read all the books. He could be a good James Bond, bit of a strange one, bit of a poor man's one, but still all right.
Yeah.
No, where I recognize it. He's the guy. He's the the boyfriend in In-Betweeners. The character, I guess.
Yes.
He's in White Lotus season 2 as well. Bit of a strong character in that. So
he was good in that. He was good in that. I do remember him from In-Betweeners specifically, but no, I remember him from the White Lotus thing, and he was pretty good in that. It'd be weird. I can't remember what type of accent he has from memory. He had a very deep voice.
English,
and stuff.
British English, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually, the excitement now is ramping up for 007. They're talking
Good pick,
about
I think.
a couple of years' time. So yeah, this could be all right.
Interesting, Elaine.
So I know that we've got on Thursday this big night of wrestling. For some reason, you keep telling us, even though we don't come. So the event.
I don't know how this keeps getting put on the run sheet.
I know,
it just
but
appears every week.
Hey, I didn't even do it
I
this
feel
week.
I keep deleting it out.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Lane.
The problem is Tom keeps on telling us about it. So all I know is it's PCW King of the Ring. So so what's going on this week?
So there's a tournament at PCW Slam this Thursday night, King of the Ring. So basically there's 8 competitors. I'm going to be one of them. I've found out today I'm one of the competitors for King of the Ring. And there'll be 7 other people, and basically we have a tournament. So starts off as four matches. The winner of those matches progress. Then the next 2, and then finally there's a match to decide the King of the Ring. All I'm going to say is you people out there who think that you can stop me on my way to becoming the king of PCW, think again. You're not getting in my way. Doesn't matter if they have to claw your eyes out, kick you in the back of the head, punch the ref's lights out and steal a victory. Doesn't matter. I'll do what it takes. So you people, when you get down there, all the listeners, just know you better not get in my way, and those wrestlers better not get in my way. Otherwise, they're getting their teeth knocked in.
So are you saying that this is one that you think all your friends should come to?
Friends, family, you should be coming anyway. To be honest, I don't really care if you come, because it doesn't change.
Thank God. Okay, well I won't see you there then. So
it doesn't change.
All right. Well, it's been a good episode this week. So make sure everyone likes and subscribes. We need reviews. We need we need these Spotify reviews going on. No one's doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll keep telling people in person to do it, and it seems to be working because I make them do it in front of me. But yeah, make sure you do that on Spotify. Make sure you click that follow button as well. Yeah, 5-star reviews are great, but we need you to follow the show as well. Otherwise, you're going to miss episodes. You never want to miss an episode of this show.
I know I don't. I definitely don't want to miss an episode. I know Kiz does. For some reason, he's missed the last 2.
Yeah, but I listened to them, and I liked, and I subscribed, and they popped up in my Spotify newsfeed on Monday morning, and I was thrilled to kick off the week, even though I was shitting myself silly.
There you go.
Okay.
So listen,
something nice
if you're shitting yourself, put the Tom and Laney Show on. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Am I done? Felicity asks.
Hey,
show's still
I heard
going.
that. I literally just got a message off Aaron too. Are you nearly done?
All right. See ya.
Well, yeah.